For those who watched the Chi-Town documentary, we got a glimpse into, where you're from, the hardships that you had to go through. Um, and being from the city of Chicago, being such a rich basketball city culture, at what time, what age did you fall in love with the game, and who were some people to help you along the way with your basketball journey?
Yeah. First of all, thank you for whoever watched the Chi-Town documentary. Supporting my city, my family, my friends, and myself. Um, and as you know from that movie, um, my dad was my number one supporter. From day one. Um, Man, from I would say I fell in love with the game of basketball around seventh grade. I grew up playing football. My dad, played in the NFL for like a year or two. Um, Grew up in a football family. We played all sports actually. My dad worked at this gym up north called the Broadway Armor. He was the vice president up there, so he had us in, from t-ball. Then we grew up to baseball. Then I'm saying from flag football to football. Then same thing from bitty basketball to basketball. My sisters ran track. They did cheerleading, so we played all sports. Um, but I knew like when I was going into seventh grade, going into seventh, eighth grade, I was like, man, I like basketball more because I was afraid to tell my dad that I didn't want to play football no more. You know what I'm saying? So that was a big thing. So my eighth grade year, I was playing, but I wasn't loving the game of football like that because I love basketball. And I had already started the season, started practice because I was real good at football early on. I was better at football like third, fourth, fifth grade, but I just love basketball because of Chicago. You got Derrick Rose, you just got so many players you see hooping and making it and getting a scholarship than football if you're playing in the public league, in the CPS. So I remember, my eighth grade year, like I said, I started football and I had to tell my dad, like, man, I don't think I want to play no more. Like, and he like, nah, you're gonna finish. You're gonna finish this season, but then after this, you could, play basketball full time. So I'll never forget that was a hard conversation I thought for days on. And that's when I knew like, basketball, what I want to do.
After high school, you choose to play college ball at Green Bay. Was there any other colleges in the mix for recruiting during that time?
Yeah, I think so. I was waiting on, DePaul and Penn State who had showed me some interest because everybody wants to go high major. I wanted to go high major. But I also had EIU, who my best friend Alfonso McKinney, he was there. And I had played high school with him my last 2 years because he had came over to our school for his junior and senior year. So, um, my sophomore and junior year, because he was a grade ahead of me, I got to play. I got to play with him. He had ended up going to East Illinois. So, and they had watched when they recruited him, they was watching me at the same time. And actually, that coach had ended up going to Green Bay. So, he was recruiting me at East Illinois for Coach Mike Miller. But then, they both had offered me. And then when the assistant coach went to Green Bay, he kept following and recruiting me, and EIU kept recruiting me with Mike Miller and their head coach. And Alfonso was there. So those were kind of my two schools. One school in Illinois that was close, and then Green Bay was close, because I had a son.
At Green Bay, three-time all-conference, two-time player of the year, conference player of the year, second all-time in points, second all-time in assists, and you top 10 in a few other categories as well. How was that transition from playing high school ball to college ball? Because it didn't seem that difficult. How was that for you?
Yeah, I think, man, first of all, I think I chose the right place. That's what I tell a lot of these kids. Green Bay was a school when I was getting recruited. Like people like what? When I committed, they like what? What school is that? Like I never heard of that. Like so a lot of these kids go to school just on the name, just so they could feel good, have that clout. Something that may be out of their realm, but Green Bay may have seen, kind of under the realm or under the radar, but it was a school that was close. They had some pieces. They was in a good league, Horizon League, who was doing good because Butler had just went to the championship twice. So I'm like, man, like, I can go over here and get opportunity. And then, the NCAA it's the playing field. If Duke, somebody on Duke averaging 15 a game and you averaging 15 a game, y'all both averaging 15 in the NCAA, so that's all that mattered for me. But I would say that they had two senior guards leaving, so I had an opportunity. And, I just was confident. I was just really confident. I was the youngest freshman in the country. The coaches did a great job just throwing me out there in the fire, testing me. From the summer camp, from the summer that we had, the summer session. I was just trying to lead, and they was letting me grow. And I think I was just a fast learner. Because I feel like in high school it was a big transition. It's a big transition, I would say, for anybody. Really, especially the point guard spot, really learning the pick and roll game. High school, you play pick and roll, you don't have many bigs, you don't have many plays, so learn the playbook, learning pick and roll, just making that adjustment with your body, you know what I'm saying? So it was, I just worked at it every day until I built my confidence, and I knew it was an opportunity to start. So I think with those two things, I was like, man, I should really stay focused and go hard and go for something. And I think after the 10th game, I became the starter. And then, I had some big games like Butler on the movie where they won the top teams. They come to our gym and we beat them, So I was just trying to just make a name for myself, make a name for the school. And I ended up having some big games that left me with a lot of confidence. And I remember even the last game of that season, I finished real strong. You know what I'm saying? I finished real strong. A game in Chicago versus UIC, I had like 27. We won on the road at home for me with Chicago as a freshman. I just, it was a big transition, but I was focused. Like I said, I had favor. I went to a favorable spot, and it was opportunity there, and I just, took that and ran with it.
You mentioned that Butler game. Was that game on the documentary when the guy his tooth got chipped
Yeah,
in?
yeah, man. Playing against Ronald Norad, a good guard on ESPN. So I'm knowing everybody watching. So
Yeah.
those type of games, I'm like, all right, let me try to put myself on the map. Out here in NCAA. So. Yeah, man, was able to fight and get that win. That was big. That was big for the program, for the organization, actually.
So after Green Bay, of course, it was documented. Cavs Summer League training camp with the Spurs. You play in the G League, overseas, play at a high level, and then summer 2021 comes up. TBT championship game. You drop 21 points. You hit the game winner. Emotions are running high, and then minutes later, I remember it vividly. Minutes later, Woj and Sean figured out that you signed a deal with the Pacers. It was like off some NBA My Career 2K type storyline stuff. How was the game winner? Take me through that game winner, and what went behind the news breaking?
Yeah, it was crazy. Well, I'll go back to because someone had just asked me a question that made me think about this. Like you said, when I was a rookie, I played for the Cavs Summer League, but then I played for the Spurs D League. Then I played overseas. So it was like, quickly as a professional, because that was another transition from college to pro. I had to go through a lot, even in my first year. You know what I'm saying? From being a man, like I say, going to the Cavs, like, all right, I like this team. LeBron, Kyrie, got to make a quick change. I just played for one team. Now I'm playing for another pro team. Like, I'm like, what's going on? Got to be resilient. I'm like, then I go to training camp with the Spurs. Then I play on the G League team and don't start. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, wow, like, they got guys coming back that was successful. Bryce Cotton, who's had a very successful career in Australia, played in the NBA for a solid stint. And then, so me realizing like how much I got to put work in, Then, like I said, I had to go overseas, keep working. And then work my way up to EuroLeague, work my way up to China, things like that, which is hard for a guard like coming from a small school to go to all these places. And then like I still wanted to go to the league, so I just had my mind made up. Like, man, like you say, COVID hit, and I got a lot of time to be at home after playing abroad for 5 straight seasons. I was like, man, like like I said, I had kids. I'm like, man, I'm gonna miss my family. Like, I still want to go for the league, so I just put it in my mind. I went to the NBL, the Australian League. I had seen LaMelo go to the league from there, Torian Craig go for the league from there, like a lot of players. So I'm like, I'm gonna go over here. Jay Sean Tate, I should mention, all those guys were going to the NBA from there. And like you said, I played that season. TBT come. I had already had my mind made up that I'm gonna, go to the G League, go to, sign a training camp deal with Indiana because I was doing well abroad. So yeah, man, that game I'll never forget it. It was on my son's birthday. So I remember he just put the pressure on. He like, because as we got to winning, He like, what is this? He's coming to the games. He, what's the rule? They, oh, $1 million. He like, before the game, he like, Dad, you better not lose this $1 million on my birthday. So I'm pressure like, dang, because I could be, in that TBT is either you win it and get the money, or you played all the 6 games and don't get nothing. So,
Yeah.
so I was, man, I was, like I say, just praying, meditating before the game, getting right. Had a good game. The ball, I really went to go get the ball the last shot because it was a 2-point game, so some people don't remember, like, this game wasn't a game where somebody won by 5, 6, the Elam ending. Like, this was whoever hit the last shot, we was back and forth. They needed 2 points. We needed 3 points to win. They needed 2. And they had missed a couple shots. We missed a couple shots. So I went to go get the ball, and it just flowed, bro. I just got in the zone. Like, I don't even like the play. When I watch it, I don't remember, but somebody get the rebound. I just run up on them and take the ball from them. Like, you never really see that. Like, I was supposed to run the lane, run down the court, and then I just, got away from my guy. He looked away, and it just happened. But yeah, man, Shams, like you say, who's the who got that position now, like, broke the news that I signed with the league. So it was crazy, man. Crazy summer, crazy time. Just seemed like everything was coming, like all the hard work is starting to pay off. Especially Indiana, they was close to home. So it was all like starting to like be a dream come true. You know what I'm saying? So after that, I went right to summer league with the Pacers for my 4th summer league.
It's crazy you said that was on your son's birthday. I remember I've been doing content for a minute now, like 4 or 5 years. I put out a video, like, basically doing a recap on what happened in the TBT, the championship game, when you hit the game winner. And then I get a comment. I'm like, say, that's my dad. I'm like, hold on, who is this? It was
my son.
Your son. I was like, all right. It's crazy because I remember watching Doc. I'm like, hold on, it's the same.
Yeah, he grew up now, man. Yeah, so that's why at the end, when you see me go stand on the table, I'm looking at him like, hey, like, I did it. Like, so that was, what I'm saying, that was a great moment for us.
Indiana Pacers, you make it to the league, and you mentioned how you were right there. You were close this whole time. You G League, high level overseas. I'm sure you're working out with those guys in the summertime. Those guys in the league. Was making it to the NBA everything you expected it to be?
Yeah, it was. It was, like it was that ultimate goal. I feel like I worked for all my life. Definitely changed my life forever, having that stamp, because, some people that play overseas, they European stars, but they don't ever take that risk to get in that league. And that's going to, like, I don't know if they're going to regret that. I just didn't want to have that regret. At least I want, like, say I want to try. And, things worked out how they did. And it, and it couldn't have if it wasn't in the cards, which some people have that fear of, that they even tried and it didn't work. You know what I'm saying? But, it was definitely everything, you know what I'm saying? And I got a solid opportunity, a lot of games. Like I say, with that on my resume, it just changed my life forever. It just put me in the 1%, as far as basketball, which is going to help me even in my future, So, so yeah, man, it was everything, it was amazing. At times, because it's business and politics, with me being a small guard, I don't know how much was invested in me, but I appreciate that opportunity. And, yeah, man, it's a blessing. Like I said, I wish it would have lasted even longer and things would have continued to align. But at the same time, I got to understand so much about the business and understand so much more about the NBA from being in it, because it's just a high level elite club, really, like group of guys, group of people that, even if you're a trainer, whatever the case may be, you see in the highest level of basketball, is going to help me, continue to build my community, continue to build the next wave. And, I'm able now, since I got the access to the league, to pass that down to others to make it easier for them. Because I had to, like, without my dad, I didn't have nobody guiding me to do this, like, I had different agents. I had to take a different route. I ain't just stay in Europe, or, I had to play all over, play TBT, like you say, to go get it. So I appreciate my journey. And I just had to, figure out how to get through that door. And I did it, what I'm saying? So I'm definitely proud of it and happy. And it was definitely, everything to me.
A point you brought up, being a smaller guard. KD recently went on LeBron's podcast, and he talked about how, you don't see a lot of guys 6'1" and under in the league.
Yeah, him and LeBron say under 6'2" is done.
Yeah, like you've seen probably 10, 15, 20 years ago. How tough is it to make it to the league as a smaller guard?
Yeah, it's very hard, that, and that's what I'm saying. It's like it's almost impossible, So for me to do it, like I say, also like I said, I didn't have like no marketing behind me, no like no, I ain't go to the big school, So I like it's really I learned all of these things that you need to put yourself in position, to even get drafted. You know what I'm saying? So, like I say, let alone be a smaller guard. Even Fred VanVleet said it before. It's like you damn near gotta perfect your game, perfect all of it. Defense, passing. Some guys you taller, you could just shoot threes and play defense. You know what I'm saying? Some guys you really could just rebound and play defense. Like when you a small guard, you got to shoot it well, you got to pass it well, you got to impact the game. You got to play. You know what I'm saying? Be positive and a plus minus. You got to play defense. You got to be a good locker room guy. All of these things, like literally all of these things to even give yourself a chance. And you still don't even have a chance because you got the G League with hundreds of players. You got free agents all over the world, retire, like players that's about to retire or players that's in, veterans. Then you got players from abroad, like then you got international players, that come from abroad. So it's like everybody trying to fit through this door. So I mean, being a small guard is tough in its own way, So like I say, I'm happy it worked out for me. I got in the right place, the right time. I feel like my athleticism has helped my career a lot, and just me being a good person on and off the court. So like I said, it's something that a lot of people don't have. Even people in the NBA, a lot of them haven't played in the NBA and overseas. Like I've done both, so I got something on NBA players, and I got something above players that just have played abroad. So it just make my journey special.
I know you have the Free 10 Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
Can you speak a little more about the mission or goals of your foundation?
Yeah, so the mission of the Free 10 Foundation is to help kids that's been affected by gun violence and mass incarceration and just, poverty, underprivileged in general, coming from inner cities. Like me, it's tough. Like say me, I'm a small guard. So I realized quickly like how blessed I am, like really how lucky I am. Like I could be anybody, I could be anybody that was on my team, my friend who in a movie, who went to jail, who just got out, So that's why I also was called Free 10, and we wanted to help, people that their parents are going to jail, and they left with no parents. Or I could have been like my friend Marty, who was just randomly chilling and got shot. Now he in a wheelchair. Now his career gone. You know what I'm saying? So now, he need help. You know what I'm saying? Coming from a city of poverty and lack and violence. So I just wanted to address those things as I got into my pro career, because I got to travel the world and got to see how, blessed I am and how me staying on the right path, has helped me. But, in a city or just like really any kid, if you don't have the right, guidance, or if you just in the wrong environment, and just being in America, you can just be in the wrong place at the wrong time. You see police shooting people who just getting pulled over for tickets. I've been able to see like how tough, how crazy the world is. So I wanted to, step in and help and fill that void for people who lost their parents to gun violence, people who lost their parents to their parents going to jail, people who, lost their parents because their parents just not there. There's a lot of single moms, I have single dads, going up in poverty just because they don't have enough money to make it, don't have enough opportunity to get a job and take care. So they just, they don't have those responsibilities. So that's when we step in and fill that void. So, I always have things like coat drives, bowling events, basketball camps, youth camps. Now I'm getting into, teaching the kids golf, just, and different other initiatives just to build and just give back to the community, give back to the city. And I've been blessed to, take that all over the Midwest. So I've done events in Wisconsin, in Detroit because I was there, in Indiana because I was there, and in Illinois, in Chicago.
I noticed, during the documentary, shoe game, sneakers,
Mm-hmm.
you had, he got game 13s, Brett 11s. I think you hooped in some head 7s in college.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had some custom gloves, the Gary Payton's on senior day. At Green
Mhm.
Bay. I'm a sneaker guy myself. So what are your top three favorite kicks to wear on the court and top three off the court?
Yeah, my top three on the court, I would say I'm a big Kobe guy. So Kobe 8, those probably my favorite. Um, I say Jordan 11s,
Mhm.
and I really put them on the court and off the court, but I'm gonna just put them on the court. And then I don't even think what I like right now. I'm gonna just show some love for what's going on right now, even though it's not all time. But I like Anthony Edwards' shoe. I
Okay,
like how
yeah,
he playing. I like his shoe. I like Shea's shoe too. I ain't really got to get a pair of those, but just showing love to him too. But yeah, I'll say those are my top shoes on the court. Off the court, obviously, man, I'll just say white Air Force Ones. Those like a go to. Being from Chicago, though, just clean. You can wear it everything. I'll say Jordan ones because I like how they didn't even branched off with the Travis Scotts and even the lows and the normal ones. You know what I'm saying? Those you could put them on with a lot of different clothes and kind of be what I'm saying, fashionable and into fashion with those. Like I said, even if you go to that Travis Scott level, you doing good.
yeah.
And I'm gonna go with a designer shoe. What designer shoe I love? I like a few of them. I'm gonna give a shout out to Christian Dior, but the Prada America Cups. I like those. You can always mix those up. I got a white and black pair that I love a lot, that I wear a lot.
It was classic
But you can
too.
wear different, classic, different colors, smooth and sleek, patent leather. So you could really dress them up, dress them down, throw them on with some jeans, throw them on with some, nice dress pants, nice button up shirt. So I'll go right there. You surprised me with that one, so I wasn't ready, but I hope that's good enough.
No, no,
Now, I do want
no.
to talk about one more thing
Hmm.
because I'm getting into my 11th season. I got the GB hoodie on. I just became the general manager of the team. So, that's something that's a new role for a lot of people in college. Like Steph Curry has done it. I think Trey Young has done it. Trey, I know at Florida State, I forgot his name.
Was it?
Florida State has done it. I know Shaq just did it
Mhm.
at like
Sacramento.
Sacramento State or something, one of the schools out in Cali. But yeah, I mean, it's just a cool role also because I want to shout out, Trey Young doing it and then the kid from Chicago getting drafted, Jeremiah Fears at 7. So that was cool to see, him to just have whatever effect he had by coming back, showing love, maybe even if it was just, talking to him and being available because I seen him even at his draft party and things like that. But yeah, man, I just got that role as I want to see what I want to do when I'm done with my career, probably in whatever 3 to 5 years. And like I said, how I've had the camps and just been how I've been having an impact in my community. Um, just helping manage players, help building culture, being positive, which helped me have a lot of success. Being a leader, um, cultivating the whole like program like I did at Green Bay, and just came off a championship in Poland. So just learning how to win in different ways, and being a general manager, trying to learn how to win in different ways, and trying to you know help people put their habits together and their routines together and their discipline together to win, and for one single idea or just single goal of winning the championship is something that's always drove me. So yeah, I just got that, so I wanted to speak on that and how I'm, happy and proud to do that while I'm still hooping. Because a lot of people saw that, but they didn't know if I was still hooping. So yeah, I'm still, hooping and things like that. But yeah, managing players, I don't know if it's at this capacity, being a general manager or the agent at some point. But yeah, it's something I want to do to continue to help give back to the game. I don't think I want to be on the sidelines no more as a coach, by spending all these years away from my kids, traveling, hooping, working so hard to get it. I don't know if I want to spend that much time on the practice floor in the gym and on the sidelines yelling, um, or as like a trainer, waking up training from 8, 9, 10 to get my money, something like that. But I'd rather be in the gym with kids, helping their mindset, mentoring them. Like I say, to get them all the information to make their journey easier, to make the league, or to make it to be professional overseas, or to make it to college. Now with them being able to make life changing money for their families in college and NIL, just helping them navigate that. So man, I stepped into this role, and I'm just proud. It's another way for me to give back to the young athletes and to the community and to the youth and to my college and University of Green Bay.
That's some good stuff. I didn't know that. Congratulations, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Congratulations. So,
Yes,
and it's a fairly new role in like the college basketball landscape, if I'm not mistaken, right?
yeah, it is. It is.
So that's big, man. And like you say, you still playing. Like I know Steph Curry, like you said, Steph Curry, he's there for Davidson, and you said Trae Young for Oklahoma as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, like it's more. It's probably like you say. It's probably really less than 10 though. But I think I've seen it in football too.
yeah, I
They've
think
gotten some general managers because they got so
yeah,
much money going around, and just transfer portal trying to and trying to build a collective and help raise money in the community. And I'm just trying to figure out ways that I could continue to help affect an organization. And I'm more of like I'm very had a great journey, but I'm a more behind the scenes type of guy. I don't know if it's because I feel like the movie always had me jaded because it put out a lot of my information, than I know of people when I first meet them. And, like I just feel like I want to be a, like say, help a team from the stands. I'm more of a behind the scenes type of guy that just want to motivate you. I don't really want all the credit or nothing like that. I'm just more of a team person. Like even growing up, like it's just all about the team, all about us. Like it ain't. I don't never really try to always make it about me. So, the more group success we have and group think we can have, the better. And I always wish the world and my city was like that, or even more like that, and think that'll make the world a better place. But I know that's what make teams and businesses successful. So, I'm definitely excited for it.
got you, man. Like again, congratulations on the role, man, and much success down the line. I know you're gonna do some great things. Like you said, beyond the court, even if it's behind the scenes and your general manager position. So, congrats again. Appreciate you taking the time out, sitting down with me, having this conversation. Take it easy, all right?
I bet, bro. God bless you. I appreciate it.
On his memory here at Rocker Park. His theme. Somebody needs a basket. We're gonna see when the Fargo post. Snacks. Tell me yesterday, HBC.
Man, once again, man, I appreciate you having me, man. And congrats, man, on the platform. And I say keep it going, keep doing your thing.